In 2009, a video was posted to YouTube called I Feel Fantastic. It features a robot singing a song of the same name. And to be quite honest, that video is just creepy as hell. Now, there's been a lot of rumors that the video was created by a serial killer. A lot of people believe that. Then in the past several years, there's been people trying to debunk that. But I do believe that it is quite possible that a serial killer created the video, I Feel Fantastic. What I will do first is to present this video in its entirety, and it runs about 2.5 minutes, so you can see for yourself how creepy and disturbing it really is. And then I will present my analysis of the video and point out all the things that point towards its creation by a serial killer. So now, here is the full, original I Feel Fantastic video from 2009.
You seem fantastic, hey, hey, hey. Run. Please, me, please, me, please, me, please, me, please, me, please, me. You are fantastic. Run. I feel fantastic. Hey, hey, hey. You feel fantastic. Hey, hey, hey. You are fantastic. Hey, hey, hey. I feel fantastic. Hey, hey, hey.
So here's the video on YouTube, I Feel Fantastic. It was uploaded April 15th, 2009 by Creepy Blog. And when you click on Creepy Blog's profile, you can see it is the only video they uploaded. There's no more information about Creepy Blog. Now, the first thing to hit you with this video is the horrendously creepy music. I mean, it's just a gaudy electronic synthesizer playing chromatic scales up and down with the worst kind of dissonance. And the voice of and the appearance and the voice of the robot, very creepy. She's pale-skinned. She is almost skeletal, looks like a corpse. That's the thing with puppets and mannequins and dolls and clowns and robots like this. They're pale, They're lifeless, and they just remind you of a corpse, an animated corpse. In addition to her singing, I feel fantastic, hey, 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 you feel fantastic, you are fantastic, she also says, run, run, run. Run, 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 she says, as if someone were in danger in this place and needed to leave immediately. She then either says, please leave. I'll play that again. Either please leave, obviously again, warning somebody who's in danger that they must flee the premises, or she's saying please me, which if you invert that to the creator of the song rather than the singer, it's a quite hedonistic demand from a captive subject. Either way, please leave or please me is quite a chilling lyric. And the claim has been made that the clothes the robot is wearing are actually clothes taken from the victims of the serial killer. At one point in the video, there's an odd shot of an outdoor scene. This shot has been suggested by many that this represents the location where the serial killer buried his victims. It has also been suggested that in this scene, the robot is lounging in a very sexually suggestive pose. One thing that I did notice that I haven't heard mentioned anywhere else are these windows. There is a covering on these windows which is pure black, and it is not inside, so it's not a drape, it's not a blind. It is a black tarp placed over these windows, actually inside the window pane, to make sure that they are secure and they never move. They are permanently placed in there, for one thing, to block your view out of these windows. You can't see anything that might be laying outside of this house. If you could, you might see a landmark that would give a clue as to the location of the house. I believe the creator of this film put these tarps in there knowing that he was going to make this video, and for another reason, but for the point of making this video, so anybody who might happen to watch it living in his locale can't find a landmark outside the windows which would locate this house and therefore locate him. Another reason he would have these windows blocked like this is to keep people outside from seeing what's going on inside. And with those blocked so well, with these windows blocked like that, the general public would have no idea what is going on inside that room. Another thing I noticed about the setup is that the robot apparently is so unstable that it cannot stand on its own. It needs to be propped up against something. If you look here where it's sitting on the floor, there's nothing at all around it. It's just sitting on the floor, propped up by its own arms. But when it's standing on its own 2 feet, it is propped up against something right behind it. And what that something is a 50-gallon barrel. You can see it's a black 50-gallon barrel. It's the same height and width as such a barrel with ridges. And they always have 2 ridges coming up here to make them easier to grip. And what serial killers will do, a lot of times they'll take the bodies of their victims and they'll place them in a 50-gallon barrel full of hydrochloric acid, and they will dissolve the flesh in this acid off of the body of the victim. And by looking at the interior of this room, there is no place in this room for a 50-gallon barrel. It has no business being in a house. People don't keep 50-gallon barrels in their homes. They just don't. So it's very, very strange that this person would have a 50-gallon barrel just sitting in his house. And something else I'd noticed about this robot is it needs a cord. Here you can see the cord running from the floor up to behind the robot. And also, there, one sitting on the floor. You can see the cords running along the floor to behind the robot, and another one coming off here to what it looks like a power source on the wall, like an outlet. So providing power and control to the robot. Another user on YouTube has discovered another video by the same person of the same robot in the same room. And an interesting thing is it also includes a couple more shots of this outdoor scene, comparable to the previous outdoor scene that I pointed out, where it zoomed into a nondescript locale where people were rumoring that it was the place where he buried his victims. Now here is the other shot from the other video. And it features this line running across the ground. You can see the line running here from the upper left all the way across the screen down here to the bottom. I think that is most likely a power cable. The house he's in, the house that that the video was done in, where the robot's singing inside with the windows all blocked off so nobody can see in or out, may very well be a small cabin out in a remote area, somewhere out probably in the woods, because there were a number of trees seen in the last scene where he was shooting outside. And quite possibly the electric generator is outside of the cabin, and this cable is running the power in to power the cabin, and also to use as a power source for the robot. Like I said, the robot needed a corded power source. It wasn't running on batteries, so it was possibly getting its power from an outside generator. Like again, which strongly implies with the scenery, and if there's an outdoors generator for electricity, that the location is probably somewhere rather remote, and probably very close to or in the woods. And in regards to the barrel and the first outdoor scene, the dissolving and breakdown of a corpse in hydrochloric acid still leaves the bones. So there would have to be a method of disposal of the remaining bones of the victims' corpses. Most likely, that is what the first scene was. The first outdoor scene. It was probably where the killer buried the bones of his victims after dissolving the rest of the body in the hydrochloric acid in the 50-gallon barrel. Now, as for maintaining the secret of his location, you will notice that the outdoor shot was tight enough. And it does zoom in and out, but even when it zooms out, it's still tight enough to not give any recognizable landmarks that could pinpoint his location. It's basically just a nondescript location out in the woods. Also, it's a strong possibility that the burial site is not at the same location as the house where the robot was filmed. So to sum up, You have this creepy ass video named I Feel Fantastic, sung by a corpse like robot, singing both sexual and alarming lyrics, sitting in suggestive poses, wearing clothing possibly from victims. The random shot of the ground outdoors, you got the windows being completely covered with tarps, and the 50-gallon drum in the house. Was this a video created by a killer? Could be. Could be.